fun for you and me. Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, watch and you will see. Things to do, people to meet. We've got the whole world at our feet. At Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, it's a wonderful place to be.
Hello.
Hello and welcome to Tikkabilla.
Are you ready for some music? Hello.
We've got lots of instruments in the Tikkabilla house today and we're listening to the different sounds they make.
I've got a drum.
And I've got a saxophone, which is a really great shape. And you blow into it like this.
And I have got a violin.
And I've got a tambourine.
You know, there's a song we can sing about all these instruments, and if you know it, you could join in too.
Let's start with the big bass drum. Oh, we can play on the big bass drum, and this is the music to it. Boom, boom, boom goes a big bass drum, and that's the way we do it.
Right, violin next. Oh, we can play on the violin, and this is the music to it. Zing, zing, zing goes the violin, and that's the way we do it.
Saxophone now. Oh, we can play on the saxophone, and this is the music to it. So, so, so goes the saxophone, and that's the way we do it.
Tambourine. Oh, we can play on the tambourine, and this is the music to it. Ting, ting, ting goes the tambourine, and that's the way we do it. I like that. Let's sing it again.
Oh, all right. This time we'll pretend to play the instruments, and if you want to, you can pretend to play along with us.
Let's start with the big bass drum. Oh, we can play on the big bass drum, and this is the music to it. Boom, boom, boom goes the big bass drum, and that's the way we do it.
Violin next. Oh, we can play on the violin, and this is the music to it.
Zing, zing, zing goes the violin, and that's the way we do it. Saxophone now. Oh, we can play on the saxophone, and this is the music to it. So, so, so goes the saxophone, and that's the way we do it.
Tambourine. Oh, we can play on the tambourine, and this is the music to it.
Ting, ting, ting goes the tambourine, and that's the way we do it.
Hey! Well, I think we make a very good band.
Yes, we do, and I like the violin best. And there are some violins through the windows today. Shall we go and have a look? How many windows? 1, 2, 3. Round, square, or arched? Which one will it be? It's the square window.
Violins are made from different shaped pieces of wood, and Paul is going to show us how they all fit together. First, thin strips of wood are bent around this hot iron. The heat makes the wood very easy to mould into shape. These curved pieces will be the sides or ribs of the violin. And when the ribs have been bent into shape, they're glued together around a wooden template in the shape of a violin. And this creates the body of the violin called the sound box. Large metal clamps hold everything in place, and Paul makes sure that they're nice and tight while the glue dries overnight. The front and back of the violin are then sawn out from flat pieces of wood. In order for the sound box of the violin to make a lovely rich sound, the front and back need to be arched and curved, and then hollowed out to the correct thickness. Now, Paul can check this with a measuring tool called a thickness gauge. Or he can check it by giving it a tap and listening to the wood itself. These curly shapes that Paul is cutting out are called the F-holes, as they look like curly letter Fs, and they let the sound out from the violin when it's being played. When all the parts are ready, they can be glued together. And Paul uses clamps again to keep everything in exactly the right place and make sure that nothing becomes loose while the glue dries. Once the neck has been attached, and some varnish painted on, the finishing touches can be added. 4 pegs are fixed into place at the end of the violin. The pegs are used to tighten or loosen the strings to make the right notes. The 4 strings can now be added. And threaded through the pegs. This can be very fiddly. Finally, Paul adds the bridge that holds the strings away from the sound box of the violin, so that they can vibrate or wobble as the bow passes across them. There, one finished violin ready to be played. And now we've seen how violins are made, we can hear how violins are played, because Matthew and Jonathan have come into the Tikkabilla house to play their violins for us, and their mum Simone is going to help them on the piano. Okay, chaps? you very much. Welcome to Tikkabilla. Now, Matthew, how do you make the sound on a violin?
You put the bow on the string and you pull it down.
Ah, so the more you twiddle about with your fingers, the more notes that you can make.
Yes, make different notes with your fingers.
Oh, what's the bow made of?
The bow is made of wood and horsehair.
So what were you doing with your fingers at the end there?
We were doing something called plucking.
Ah, that sounds great, doesn't it?
Is it hard, Jonathan, to balance the violin underneath your chin like
No,
that?
you've got a little chin rest just here that you
Ooh,
balance
let me
with
have a
your
look.
chin.
Oh, so you put your chin just in there? Wow.
And underneath, there's a shoulder rest that balances on your shoulder just here.
Can I feel that? Oh, it's nice and soft, isn't it? Will you show me how you do it? That's great. And are you going to play something else for us?
Yes.
Okay, then well, let's have a listen. Oh, thank you for coming to the Tikkabilla house. That sounded fantastic.
And that sounded like the clock. Shall we see what time it is? Come on. Tikkabilla, Tokkabilla. Tikkabilla, Tock. What's the time on the Tikkabilla clock? Well, the long hand is pointing towards the number 6. Do you know what that means? That means it's half past something. And the short hand is pointing halfway past the number 11. So the clock says it's half past 11. But what's underneath the clock? A boat with a dog in it. Today's story will grow and grow. How will it end? No one knows. Dip in the bag and pull out a clue and we'll make up a story. Me and you. Now we know that the story has a dog and a boat. The story bag will help us work out what happens to them. Ready? Once upon a time, there was a dog who liked to float about on a boat. What could the dog's name be? Well, if he liked to float about, his name could be Float. Float the dog. And what happened? One day, Float was floating on his boat down a big blue river. Rum-pum-pum-pum-pum-pum. And what happened? Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a tree. He floated by a tree. And under the tree lived a rabbit. Now, what could the rabbit's name be? Pom-pom. No, Pom-pom. The rabbit's name was Pom-pom. And Float said, "Hello, Pom-pom. Hello, Rabbit. Would you like to come for a float on my boat?" "Oh, I'd love to," said Rabbit. And he bounced up into the air and he bounced next to Float and they floated on down the river. What happened next? All of a sudden, the clouds grew very dark. They were thunder clouds, and it started to thunder. And then it started to lightning as well. And it rained, and it rained, and it rained. And Float was worried that the rainwater was going to fill up the boat and make it go wobbly and put them all into the water. "What shall we do?" said Float. Let's see what happened. And then, and then a dolphin turned up, and a dolphin dipped into the water next to them. What could the dolphin's name be? Well, if he dipped in the water, perhaps his name was Dip. And Dip the dolphin said, "I've got a good idea. Don't worry, just take your boat to the shore and then you can turn it upside down and you won't get wet." "Oh, great idea," said Float. But before he could say thank you, Dip had dipped back into the water and had swum away. There you go, Dip. So, Float and Pom-Pom took the boat onto the shore and they turned it upside down and it acted like an umbrella and they didn't get wet. And then after a while, the thunder clouds faded away and the lightning faded too and the rain stopped and the sun came out. And they were dry. And Float and Pom-Pom got back on the boat and they pootled back up the river. Pom-pom-pom-pom-pom-pom-pom. And Float dropped Pom-Pom back. Could you remember where Pom-Pom lived? Pom-Pom lived next to a tree. Bye-bye, Pom-Pom. Bye-bye, Float. And Float floated back to the top of the river and he'd had a lovely day. And that's the end of the story. Did you like it? Actually, that dolphin Dip was very clever, wasn't he? And he had a really good idea to keep them all dry. In fact, dolphins are very clever creatures. They live in the sea. And you might be able to see some dolphins through one of the windows. Shall we have a look? Come on. How many windows? 1, 2, 3. Round, square or arched? Which one will it be? It's the round window. This is a dolphin. They're beautiful creatures. Dolphins might look a bit like a fish, but they are not fish at all. They have fins and a tail, and they swim in the sea, but dolphins are definitely not fish. They are mammals, and they need to breathe air just like we do. Dolphins talk to each other using lots of squeaking noises. It's quite hard for us to hear the squeaks. Dolphins stay together in groups called pods. They try to look after each other, especially when there's a dangerous shark nearby. And sometimes dolphins make bubbles in the water. Just watch. Can you see them? And they're very playful too. Look at that one catching some seaweed. This is a baby dolphin. It's learning to fish. The dolphin is sticking its nose down into the sand to see if it can feel any fish or shrimps. He's got one! And now it's time for some surfing. The rest of the pod are joining in. It looks like great fun, doesn't it? Dolphins are great swimmers and great surfers too.
Those dolphins were lovely. I liked the way they jumped in and out of the water. I'm going to make a watery picture of a sea creature. Now see if you can guess what the sea creature is. Now I'm going to make this picture by using ordinary washable felt tip pens, and I've got a purple one here. So shall we start? Now first of all, I'm going to draw a balloon-like shape. Now my sea creature has 8 tentacles. So count with me. Are you ready? 1 wavy tentacle, 2, 3, 4. Are you counting with me? 5, 6, 7, and the last one, 8 wavy tentacles. Now then, what we have to do is just scribble in the middle of our sea creature, and it can be really messy, and you'll see why now. Because if we get a clean paintbrush and some water, dip the paintbrush in the water and paint the water over the washable felt tip pen. Look at that! Can you see how pretty it is? It makes the felt tip pen run and gives us a watery picture. It's really very pretty. There we are. Now then, let's put some water on the 8 tentacles. And have you guessed which sea creature I'm painting? An octopus. Look at that. Have you noticed how the water has made the colour run to make a watery picture? Just keep dipping my brush in the water so I've got plenty of water on my picture so it can all run like that. There. Now what else lives in the sea? Do you know? Fish live in the sea, don't they? Shall we draw some fish with our washable felt tip pens and see what happens when we put water on those? So I think should we do 2 fish? 2 orange fish. So here we are, there's 1 fish, and we'll scribble in the middle. I like scribbling. And we'll put another fish there. Scribble in the middle. Now I think I'll put some bubbles in my water with some blue. Put 2 more bubbles there. And how about some sea plants? I think that would be good, don't you? And for the sea plants, we only have to do wiggly lines, because when we add the water to our wiggly lines, it will all smudge. So let's add the water. Dip our paintbrush in to the water, which is now a lovely pinky colour. And should we start with the fish? Put water on the fish. Look! See how the orange is smudging and becoming watery. And let's do the other fish. There. And the bubbles? There, look how the bubbles smudge. It's really great fun doing this as well. And there. Now, should we do the seaweed or the sea plants? Let's do the sea plants. Ready? Down our wiggly line. Whee! Wow, look at that. That's great, isn't it? Look how it's all smudging and running into the water. Let's do the other side. Just there. And I think to finish off, I'll put a smiley face on my octopus. So I've got a dark blue pen here, and we'll put 1 eye there, and 1 eye there, and a big smiley face. And look at that! Even his smile is smudgy. So there's our fish, our sea plants, and our octopus with 8 tickly tentacles.
And I have got 2 arms with tickly fingers on the end. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Do you like laughing, Tamba?
I do. Do you like laughing? Well, I like laughing like this.
Funny laugh. Can you do a funny laugh like that? Oh, I can do a deep laugh. Ready?
Oh, I can do a laugh like this. Can you do this?
Or what about, I can do a nose laugh, ready?
Oh, and I can do a silly laugh like this.
Can you do a wet laugh? Here's a wet laugh. Oh, sorry, Tampa.
Oh, you two sound happy. What are you laughing at?
Oh, I can't remember. All I know is that we've got smiling and happy faces.
Well, when I'm happy, I like to sing a song. Do you like singing? Would you like to sing and dance with me? Sometimes when I'm feeling very happy, I just like to sing a happy song. It's so simple, you will see how easy having fun can be. If only you will come and sing along.
And even if I don't feel very happy, I have got the perfect remedy. Just close your eyes and memorize happy times and sunny skies. Come on now and sing along with me. Oh, twiddly-dum-dum, twiddly-dee, I like you and you like me. Twiddly-dum-dum, twiddly-diddly-day. To make your life go with a swing, just think of lovely happy things. Happy thoughts will help you on your way.
Riding on the bus can make me happy. Sometimes I'm allowed to ring the bell. And when I get to my bus stop, off the bus I then will hop. And walking to the park is fun as well.
Oh, happiness is riding on a seesaw. And I'm happy when I'm on a swing. You should hear me laugh and shout, spinning on a roundabout. How it really makes me want to sing.
Twiddly-dum-dum, twiddly-dee, I like you and you like me. Twiddly-dum-dum, twiddly-diddly-day. To make your life go with a swing, just think of lovely happy things, and happy thoughts will help you on your way. Paddling in the sea, playing in the sand, on a bright and sunny summer's day. Walking hand in hand, listening to the band, on a lovely summer's holiday.
Jumping up and down, ha ha, laughing at the cloud.
Feeling snug and cozy in my bed. And if ever I feel sad, I don't feel quite so bad when I think about the good things in my head.
And we say twiddly-dum-dum, twiddly-dee, I like you and you like me. Twiddly-dum-dum, twiddly-diddly-day. To make your life go with a swing, just think of lovely happy things, and happy thoughts will help you on your
Happy thoughts will help you on your
Happy thoughts will help you on your
twiddly-dee-dlee way. Well, you could sing a happy song today.
Oh, have fun laughing.
We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, fun for you and me. Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, watch and you will see.